I still can't believe it. I go to the school and I see Rosa Guerrero and I said, is that me? Is that me? And I go and talk to the kids and I dance with the kids and I read to the kids and I tell them everything that I'm telling you today, to believe in themselves. And a lot of them, when they introduce me, the counselor is so beautiful. She introduces me and she says, do you know who this lady is? And they all look, she's Rosa Guerrero. And what does she have familiar with the school? Our school is named for her. And beautiful stories from that. The first time that it was open, I went to read to the little kindergarten children. And this little boy looks at me. He says, what's your name? I said, Rosa Guerrero. He says, do you know that's the name of my school? And I thought it was wonderful. What a wonderful lesson. And another one, I was introduced by the principal to these new kids that were there. He said, this is Mrs. Guerrero. And blah, 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 blah. And I was shaking the hands of all the new students. I said, I'm Mrs. Guerrero. And he says, I didn't know you existed, this little boy said. And another little girl from LBJ school, I went over and talked, and the counselor said, this is Ms. Guerrero. She's coming and talking to you. She's going to talk to you about yourselves and your careers and et cetera, et cetera. And this little girl says, you're Rosa Guerrero? I said, yes. I thought you were dead. So, you know, I said, hey, I didn't have to be in the Alamo to kill anybody. I was born in El Paso, Texas. I didn't have to come from Tennessee like all those pioneers, you know, in the Alamo. I am me, I am proud, and I can tell my students, if I did it, you could do it too. Every day, every day. Don't ever stop. And, oh, I'm too poor. No, no excuses, just results. I was very poor in material things. We never had a car, we never had a phone. That didn't make me poor. My culture was rich. My faith was rich. My strength and courage is rich. My femininity is strong to be a woman. And I got that from my mother because she was Chichimeca, Indian from Mexico. And the strength of believing in yourself. But I still can't believe when I go over there as an artist and educator and try to tell the kids, believe in yourself. One little boy from Putnam School several years back, I went and talked to parenting parents and how to be a better parent, et cetera, and they brought in the fifth graders. This little boy says, you're Rosa Guerrero? I said, yes. You have a school name for you? I said, yes. Who are you to have a school name for you? And that was a very important question. And I told him, I said, well, I've done this and I've done that and I've done that. I said, and I don't know. Who am I? It could be anybody. So every day, I try to be a better citizen, a good Christian, a good person, because all eyes are on you. All eyes are, you're like in a fish bowl, and there's Rosa Guerrero. Look, she's going this way, she's going that way. Not this, I'm an octopus, I'm not a fish. I have tentacles everywhere. I think a woman is an octopus, a man is a fish. A woman has tentacles forever. And in this world, we need to really raise the self-esteem of a woman that we are something tremendously beautiful. Well, I had a friend in the University of Houston used to say minority twice or three times. We're all minorities, depending. If you're Catholic among all Protestants, or if you're Jewish among all Catholics, or if you're black among all whites, or if you're white among, or if you're the woman among all men. At UTEP, when I started there in the 50s going to college, I was the only woman sometimes in many of my classes, and the only Hispanic woman in my class, and the only pregnant woman in my classes. And, you know, people would say, she's odd, she's different. And some of the guys, you know, try to tease me, especially the Mexican American. They weren't used to seeing a woman in college. And what do you want to do? I said, I want to be a teacher. A teacher's forever. And my husband's behind me because he says, if anything happens to me, you have your degree, you have your job to fall on. So you don't have to depend on anybody. You have, and I've never depended on anybody, just God. Because we're here, because He loves us and He wants us to do something with our lives. So I feel that it's very, very important to turn on others when there's barriers. There's going to be barriers always, no matter who you are, no matter what you are, no matter what you believe in. And my mother says, go over the barriers, knock them down, go over, around, under, penetrate, whatever. But don't ever give up. And I haven't given up. You know, I still have, at 75, I'm still alive. I can do a jig and I can jive. Okay, and I love Irish jigs. I tell people, I'm really Irish Mexican. They go, really? Yeah, I eat my Irish stew with tortillas, so there. And I love the Irish music. I love to hear my Irish music because I start dancing right away. And my dogs, I think they're also Chihuahua Irish because they love the Irish music.
What's next for Rosa Guerrero?
Oh, I still want to do, I want to do videotapes. I want to do stories. I want to do books. I have never been called an authority because I have never written a book. I've talked and lectured all over the United States the last 45 years or so, but that doesn't make you an authority. Once you make a book, write a book, talk about the book, you're an authority. You know, life is funny, and what is success? Success to people is power and money and wealth. To me, success, touching another human being, turning them on. Whether it's a person in a wheelchair, like my husband is right now. Whether it's a person that doesn't believe in themselves. Whether it's a person that's really oppressed, a woman that has been violated horribly. It doesn't matter. We're here for just a little bit, and to me, success is helping others. And that just gives you that energy to help more, you know. So life goes on, it never stops. Never stops, and we should never stop.
What would you like to be known most for?
Maybe some people will say, well, she talks too much. That's okay. That's a gift of gab. I mean, to speak extemporaneously is a gift. I would love to develop that in students. Students that stutter, students that are very shy, students that have trouble with their speech in English, Spanish, or whatever language. Even priests or rabbis or ministers that don't have the command of speaking in front of an audience is wonderful. It's a gift. Anybody that can get up in front of an audience, you can do anything in the world if you get up in front of an audience. And that's a gift. That's a gift. A lot of people can't. They get up and start shaking. I've seen some of the people that I said, how did I develop the confidence? From the dance, from the music. To me, music and dance are together. Music is the father, dance is the mother, and together they choreograph beautifully, beautifully, wonderful, wonderful things. They choreograph symphonies and classics and shows and musicals and operas and zarzuelas and everything. And they're together. And we should never separate. And I think every child in the world should have music, dance, movement, the arts. Because the arts help me. They help me, and I like to help others with the dance, with the music. And life goes on. So anybody that's listening, get an instrument, learn an instrument. Get movement and choreographed a poem, choreographed a sonnet. And I've been doing that as choreography and really, really making up the creation of movement and dance since I was a little girl. Choreographing and improvising. Anything. You could improvise to your name. Your name is Heather. I love you, Heather. My name is Heather. She loves me. She loves me because my name is Heather. Heather. Heather, Heather, Heather. Her name is Heather. See, and I just made it up right now. And you could do it. You can make it rhyme. You don't have to make it rhyme. Whatever. But movement is movement. And we need more movement in children, more creativity, because we're stifling them. We're stifling. We want them to read. Yes. So do it with movement. Every child can learn either by seeing, by hearing, or by doing. Like a Chinese proverb says, I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. But I do and I understand. See? And we need to do, we need to have that respect and that love and that wonderful, wonderful peace in all of us so we could function for the world and for each other.